All
I'm
right.
ready.
I'm ready. All right, recording started.
Okay. Hi, Jason. I am Lisa, and we're gonna go through this questionnaire as we talked about earlier. And there's just gonna be a few questions that I'm gonna be asking you. And please, at any time, if you feel uncomfortable or you need to stop and take a break, please let me know. Is that okay with you?
Yes, of course it is. Thank you.
Okay. And all you really have to do is let me know the questions that I'm asking you. If you feel um, this way, um, yes or no. Um, and if you currently feel this way, or if you felt this way in the past. You
Okay,
follow? Okay.
I understand. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So the first question um, is, have you ever wished that you were dead, currently or in the past?
I have had some thoughts of wishing that I wasn't around, that I was dead. Yes, I have. Currently and in the past.
Can you briefly, just really quickly, if you can, and it's not going to be any triggers for you, just kind of tell me a little bit about that experience?
Yeah. A lot of it just sort of like stem from my experience is with um this woman that I was working for. She took advantage of me, and I didn't really understand what was going on with the with this situation, and everything that happened that I experienced. Working for this woman and being taken advantage of and being felt unsafe and being lied to constantly, just put me into a really depressed state, and I didn't know how to really fix it other than thinking that things would be better if like I wasn't around anymore. um,
Mhm.
and I started thinking, well, if I'm not around anymore, then I won't have to like worry about the things that I went through. I won't have to think about those things anymore. It wouldn't keep me up at night. It wouldn't make me cry. It wouldn't make me scared or anxious. And it just started to like lead to even more like dark thoughts about how I would um like take my like I wouldn't like how I wouldn't make myself not be around anymore. Um, so yeah, just like after that experience, those thoughts they started and they continued. So just just general thoughts about like me. I don't want to wake up because I don't want to wake up the next day because I don't want to continue to like go through relive all those experiences.
Sure. I'm sorry that you feel, that, that's something that you would have to result to. That kind of actually answers the next question as well. Um, have you actually had any specific thoughts of killing yourself? And you just explained to me. Thank you for that. How are you feeling? Are you feeling like you're okay? You're able to go on as we
Uh,
still have quite a few more questions.
yeah, I'm okay. Thank you for asking. I'm okay with talking about it. I feel like I'm in a better space now, or the safer space. Um, so the
Okay.
question was if sorry, can you repeat the question for me?
The next question that I would have been asking is, have you actually had any thoughts of actually causing self-harm to yourself? And the third question actually kind of ties into that as well. Um, what have you actually been thinking about in regards to how you would do this if that it was something that have come up with you currently or in the past?
Yeah. So yeah, in the past I I thought about how I would do it, and um, just a couple ideas that went through my head. Was maybe like taking too much medication, like too much sleeping pills. So I would just like go away in my sleep, and it wouldn't be like messy, and my family wouldn't have to like wake up the next day and find me, and it'd be just like a gruesome scene. So mostly just like taking too many like pills, um, or even um, like it's still kind of hard to talk about sometimes, but like even
Okay.
just like I don't know, like hanging myself, or um, I live like in a place where there's like a lot of bridges, so just like going to a bridge one day and just like standing there and walking off, stuff like that. Yeah.
Really also goes into question number 4, and it just has, have you had these thoughts, and the thoughts that you've had, have you actually had any intentions on acting out those thoughts?
There've been a more than a few times where I like stockpiled like medication, like old medication, and like my parents are like elderly and they take a lot of medication, and there are times where I thought about just like taking some of their medication from them that I could just like take to make me go to sleep. So yeah, there's been some little detailed planning about how I would do it. Yeah.
Okay. And that also ties into question number 5. And you did say that there has been times where you thought about taking some of the medications of your parents. Have those thoughts um, been something current or in the past?
Um, it's been both. Like there's like easier days and hard days.
Mhm.
It's better than it was in the past, but I still have those thoughts maybe a couple times a week now, like currently.
Okay. 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 And do you feel, since you are um, have had them a couple of times a week, I'm trying to get a better understanding of the intensity of the ideation, and are these tendencies um, more severe now or in the past? Um, And do you feel that you've given that any thought?
I would say they're more severe in the past,
Okay.
only because I'm out of this situation now. Um, I was able to get some help to while I was going through this situation, I was able to find my way out, thankfully. Um, but they were pretty strong back then. Um, Stronger back then than they are now, if that makes sense. I'm sorry. Talking about this stuff is still it's still hard.
Yes. Yes. Do you feel
Confusing.
that we need to take a break, or can
Well,
we?
I'm okay. I just may like
Okay.
um not make sense sometimes, or not make like
Sure.
complete sense, but I just trying to say that it used to be hard in the harder in the past, but it's easier now. I think that was what you were asking.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I wanted to know, because I'm trying to get a better understanding of um the frequency, which is one of the questions that I'm looking at, is it has, how many times have you had these types of thoughts? Is it less than once a week, 2 to 5 times a week, daily, or many times throughout the day?
I would say now it's like 2 to 5 times a week. In the past, like when I was like actually in a situation, it was like daily. Like I just didn't want to
Mhm.
be, just didn't want to be around.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But you feel like you've gotten an opportunity to get the help and the support that you need, so it's not as often as it had been in the past.
Yeah, I have a
Okay,
hundred.
okay. And when you've had the thoughts, I'm looking at trying to get a better sense of the time span, the duration. Um, are these they're fleeting, they come and go
Mhm.
quickly? Is it does it last like 4 to 8 hours a day, maybe less than an hour, um, or
Um,
more than 8 hours, or 1 to 4 hours?
I would say it depends on the day. So sometimes there would be like fleeting thoughts if I'm like having a
Mm,
really rough day and something's like bothering me or something's really making me like think about the past. They'll like come up more often.
mm.
Um, but for the most part, they're like fleeting thoughts but they happen a few times a week still.
Okay, okay. And as far as you stopping and thinking about actual thought of um, no longer being here, or wanting to die, um, are these thoughts, one, easy for you to control? Two, can you control the thoughts with not so much difficulty? Can you control the thoughts but they're very difficult for you to do that? Or can you control the thoughts with just a little difficulty? Or do you feel that you're not able to control the thoughts at all? Or does n- or you have the thoughts, but you're not, acting on them. There's no attempt to control the thoughts at all.
Um, I think for the most part it's somewhere in the middle. Like
Mm,
I have the thoughts often, but I can control them for the most part. Where I
okay.
don't, I don't act on them, obviously, because I'm still here talking to you right now.
Hmm.
Um, so, yeah, for the most part, they're controllable. They're like just constantly there, like every
Okay.
day, almost
Okay.
every day. Yeah.
Okay. And I just a few more things, if you're still okay with being able to
Oh
progress
yeah,
and that we're not triggering you or anything.
I'm
Okay.
doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you.
Um, and now I'm more speaking going to be looking at areas of deterrence. Um, are these thoughts or anything that's coming to mind that stopped you from wanting to do this self-harm to yourself, are the things that you feel that are stopping you internally, that's stopping you to do it. um, it's like a linear question of how it's asking you the deterrence is, and one is, you definitely stop from attempting to do this. Two, you probably um, it probably stopped you because of family, religion, or pain, or any outside influences. Three, that you were uncertain um, about the deterrent, but you just stopped, and most likely you probably could not stop yourself, or you definitely, the thoughts definitely are just racing, racing, racing. Or does any of that even apply to you?
It applies. When you said deterrent, the first thing that came to mind was my parents. Like I mentioned before that I have
Yes.
elderly parents and
Yes.
they're not well. And part of me agreeing to or coming um, to work in America was to help take care of my family. So
Mhm.
whenever I had those thoughts, I would always think of my parents um, uh, and my siblings and how disappointed they would be if I would have or if I would have gone through with those like bad thoughts. Um,
Yeah.
so I guess to answer your question, there was always yeah there was always something that stopped me from completely going through with it, even though I had intention sometimes and I had a plan and
Mhm.
I made steps to like go through with a plan. Before I actually were to go through with that, I would think about my parents and my family, and I would um, just like know in my heart that that's not what they will want for me,
Yes.
and I wouldn't want them to go through the pain of losing me that way.
Yes. Powerful. That
Mhm.
means you have some remorse. You would be remorseful about that.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's take a pause for right now and let's just sit in that for just a moment and take a deep breath in and let it out. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
How was that?
It
Well,
was
good.
great.
All right.
You guys were great.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
A lot of it.
Mhm.
You made that look easier. 15 minutes just flew on by.